What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and welcome back to another episode of Predict the Prem, where me and my brother go head-to-head in predicting Premier League outcomes. We've got scores on the doors at the moment as well, and the way the scoring works, it's 5 points for a correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result. Star man, once you pick that man, you cannot pick them again for the rest of the season, and it's 5 points for a goal, 3 points for an assist. And let's get straight into it with the London derby at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace against West Ham. Both of us gone for the exact same scoreline here. Why have you gone for 1-1?
Actually, when I did this scoreline, I didn't know that Zaha is actually now going to be fit for this game. But I think Palace obviously haven't kept up that 100% winning record with under Roy Hodgson. They haven't won their last two. West Ham performances have definitely gotten better in recent games, albeit they did lose their last game away at home to Liverpool. I do think them being away from home in that counter-attacking style, which they like, I think it is suited to this game, which I can see both teams. I can see it being a game of few chances, and I've gone for both teams to get a goal 1-1.
Yeah, kind of the same thinking, to be honest. I think both teams coming into this in good form, albeit Crystal Palace did just lose their first game under Roy Hodgson, but at Selhurst Park I envisage it being quite a tight game, and with West Ham scrapping and fighting for every point to stay up in this league, with Crystal Palace got nothing really to play for, to be honest, for the rest. I think West Ham will make a solid effort in this game, but I can't see really a winner, so I've gone for 1-1. Next up is Brentford against Nottingham Forest. Sim's gone for 2-0. I've gone for 3-1 to Brentford. Brentford not on the best form at the moment, but Nottingham Forest away from home are just terrible, and I think Brentford are going to teach them a bit of a lesson this weekend at the Brentford Community Stadium, albeit I do think Nottingham Forest will be doing just enough just to stay in this league with their home form, but I think in this game Brentford are just going to be a bit too good.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I think Forest did very well to beat Brighton last time out 3-1 with 2 late goals. But they were 1-0 down, and they could have been even more than 1-0 down in the first half. So they've got to be very careful. It was a very vital win, but their away form is where they've really, really struggled this season. And I see that continuing again in a Brentford team who did stop the rot with an away win against Chelsea. So that will give them a bit of, maybe re-energise them a bit going into this game. And I see another victory, 2-0.
Next up, Brighton against Wolves. Wolves actually coming into this in really good form. Sim's gone for 2-1 to Brighton. Why 2-1?
I think that, yeah, as you say, Wolves have won 3 of their last 4 games, only lost 1 of the last 5. They've been scoring a few goals of late, albeit not many, but they have been getting goals in their last few games. And I think they're a good counter-attacking team. I think they do have some decent quality. Brighton, on the other hand, obviously, they're going to have control of the game. They're a much better footballing side. They had a really bad defeat in midweek, and they'll want to react to that. So I do see a victory, but I do see them conceding. So I've gone for 2-1.
Yeah, Wolves are an interesting one because they're performing well at the moment, but mostly at home at Molineux, I think, is their best performance and best results are coming. They've only won 2 away games, or 1 away game this calendar year, and that coming against Southampton. Before that, they beat Everton just before the turn of the year. They're coming up against a really strong Brighton side at the Amex, and I think Brighton will dispatch of them, to be honest, especially after a really poor result last time out. I think Brighton will know that they want to come into this game, be defensively sound and get all 3 points. So I've gone for 2-0 to Brighton. Next up is Bournemouth against Leeds in a really important game down at the bottom. I have gone for 2-1 to Bournemouth. They've really impressed me in recent weeks with Gary O'Neill, albeit they have lost a couple of games, but I think that the run that they are on, they really are putting themselves amongst it above the relegation zone. Leeds, on the other hand, they're just conceding so many goals at the moment, and they're looking in real big danger of going down. So I've gone for Bournemouth just to edge it 2-1.
Yeah, I went for Leeds to edge it 2-1. I think Bournemouth obviously are playing really well. They did win they shaded the last game away from home at Southampton 1-0. I think it took a big effort for them to win that game. Leeds, on the other hand, finished the game worse off, I thought, against Leicester, albeit they nearly won it right at the end through Patrick Bamford. Sinistera is out as well, so that's going to be a big problem. But I do think that if they're going to give themselves a real shot of staying up, they need to be picking up some points. And I've got a feeling that Bournemouth might feel like they're very close to safety, and that could be a dangerous situation. So I've gone for Leeds to be fighting for everything, and I've gone for them to win this game 2-1.
Next up, Fulham against Manchester City at Craven Cottage. Sim's gone for 3-0 to Man City. I've gone for 4-0. I'm guessing it's similar thinking here.
Yeah, I think Man City are just absolutely steamrolling everyone at the moment. Fulham, albeit they did win 2, they did lose their last game in midweek. So I think Man City, the way they're on a roll, doesn't matter who's playing for them at the moment. They can make changes and still be just as good. And I can't see Fulham having any reply. So I went for 3-0.
Yeah, same thinking, but I just think it's going to be even worse for Fulham. I've gone for 4-0 to Manchester City. They're just, like you say, steamrolling everyone at the moment, and they even came up against second in the league, the team that have been above them all season, and completely wiped the floor with them. So I can't see anything else here but a really convincing Manchester City win at Craven Cottage. Next up is Manchester United against Aston Villa. We've gone for the exact same scoreline here in a Desmond Tutu. And look, I think Man United not really playing well at the moment, but they are getting results at Old Trafford. On the flip side, Aston Villa are playing really well at the moment. They are getting results home and away at the moment. And I just couldn't really split these two. I got a feeling that Man U might just nick it because it's at Old Trafford, but I've gone safe and gone 2-2.
Yeah, I think the fact that Man United's defence is still quite makeshift, and I think they seem to be struggling with that at the moment. They seem to find it very hard to be keeping clean sheets, and I think that Aston Villa, with the way they're attacking through Ollie Watkins, I can see them causing a lot of trouble, albeit I don't think they're the most free-flowing side, Aston Villa, but Unai Emery definitely has them playing some good football, so I do think that they'll cause Man United trouble. Man United at home, with the attacking talent they have, I can see them definitely getting a couple of goals against this Aston Villa side, and I think it'll be a close game. I think Villa, I'm predicting Villa will come away with this a bit frustrated, but I'm going for 2-2.
Newcastle, Southampton up next. Sim's gone for 3-0. I've gone for 4-1. How come 3-0?
Yeah, I know Newcastle haven't been keeping many clean sheets of late. I think that they've focused more on getting more goals than they have on keeping clean sheets. But I do think they'll keep a clean sheet in this game, just because I don't see the Southampton side being able to trouble them. I think their forward line is really porous, to be honest, and they're really struggling to hurt opposition. I know they got 3 goals against Arsenal, but I see Newcastle not being maybe not arrogant is the right word, but I don't see them underestimating Southampton maybe like Arsenal did. So I think they're going to put in a really strong display, and I can see it being 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle are conceding goals at the moment, so I've just gone for Southampton just to nick one, but they're just blowing away teams at the moment. Newcastle 6-1 against us, 4-1 against Everton, a few weeks ago 5-1 against West Ham, 2-1 against Brentford. Yeah, they did lose 3-0 in Aston Villa, but that seems to be a one-off game, to be honest, because Villa were just that good that day, but they're on smashing form, Newcastle. Southampton are just on the other end of the spectrum, falling away, looking like they're a dead cert for the drop, to be honest. So I think it's going to be another comprehensive victory for Newcastle, but I've gone for Southampton to nick one, maybe through a James Ward-Prowse free kick or something like that. But 4-1 to Newcastle. Next up is Liverpool Spurs at Anfield. Both of us gone for 4-2 here. I think it's going to be a really good game for the neutral, loads of goals, but I just feel like Liverpool's attack is just going to be way too strong for our defence.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. I think Liverpool, they're still quite open at the back. They haven't got the balance quite right, so I do see Tottenham being able to cause a bit of trouble with our attacking talent, but their attack right now is dynamite. Our defence is completely all over the shop, and I can't see us being able to hold them out, so 4-2.
Leicester, Everton up next in a really big game down at the bottom. The relegation scrap. Sim's gone for 3-2 to Leicester.
I think that both teams need to win this game badly. I don't think a draw does anyone any good. Obviously, a loss would be very bad for either team, but so maybe there'll be a bit of nerves there. But I think from Everton's point of view, they've been shipping so many goals. I just think that the way they've been going at the moment under Sean Dyche isn't quite working. So I can see a shift in approach from him, and maybe the shackles will be off a bit and try and go at Leicester and try and win the game. Leicester, we know they've got some really good attacking players, and if Everton do open up, I see Leicester being able to punish them as well with likes of Maddison, and Vardy's actually been improving of late as well, been getting more involved in under Dean Smith, and the way they've got that trio of I don't know if Iheanacho's going to be fit, but it was Iheanacho, Daka, Vardy, and Maddison as well, the quartet, and Barnes. You add Barnes in there, I can see them giving Everton a lot of trouble, but I can see Everton giving the Leicester defence a lot of trouble as well. So I've gone for a bit of a goal fest with both teams wanting a win, 3-2.
I think it's going to be really tight, this game, in terms of the result. And I've gone for Leicester to edge it 2-1. But I do think Everton are going to come here and try and frustrate Leicester very much so. But I think Leicester, in the last couple of games, I know they only drew to Leeds, but they are getting points on the board, 4 points in their last 2 games, which is going to stand them in good stead in the relegation battle. And if they do take 3 points off Everton this weekend, that could spell big, big danger for Everton in this relegation fight. But let's move on to Arsenal against Chelsea. Big London derby at the Emirates. Sim's gone for 3-0 to Arsenal. I've gone for 2-0 to Arsenal. I think I've got a feeling that Arsenal might have a little drop off now from now until the end of the season, but this Chelsea side are just rolling over for everyone at the moment. I don't think it's going to be the greatest game of football, to be honest. I think it's going to be 2 sides with kind of low confidence maybe going into the game, but I think Arsenal will make light work of it, really.
I just think when you're low on confidence and they need a home game to get that confidence back up, I don't think there's any better opposition right now than Chelsea Football Club, to be honest, with the form they're on.
Southampton?
I think even better than Southampton, clearly. I think it's Chelsea. They're 5 losses on the trot under Frank Lampard. Barely look like scoring a goal. Have they scored a goal under Lampard? 1 goal, maybe.
Maybe 1, yeah.
I think they've scored 1 goal. I think that they'll trust their system. They'll really go at Chelsea, and I think Chelsea are going to have an answer. And I think as well, again, in a London derby, I think they're going to go for the throat as well. They're going to take no mercy. So I've gone for 3-0.
All right, let's move on to the Star men. Sim's gone for Alexander Isak. Who are they playing at home to? Southampton. Yeah, he could definitely, if he starts, that is. I mean, he didn't start the last game, but I'm sure he didn't start in a view to start this game.
That's why, yeah, exactly.
So I think Isak, yeah, you're probably good on that one. I've gone for Cody Gakpo against Spurs. A bit of a
unbelievable
win-win or lose-lose. Which way do you want to look at that one?
It's definitely not a win. Not a win if just because Gakpo, mate. Come on, surely just because Gakpo scores and we lose. That win.
Then what? No, it's not a win. Well, it's a win in the game that we're playing here. That's for sure.
Disgraceful. I can't believe you've gone for a player against Spurs.
Why not?
Call him out, people. I think the fans should call you out. How can you back a player to score against Tottenham?
Look how salty he's getting because he's so far behind.
Unbelievable. Backing a player to score against Spurs. Can you believe it? Unbelievable.
Is what it is, Sim.
Never seen it. You're going to be picking Arsenal players next.
Well, I actually thought about that.
Oh
today,
my, what you thought about it? Oh, can you? I've been playing a different set of rules, apparently.
Well, we know what rules.
They're just the moral rules.
The moral rules.
The moral rules of the game. Yeah, come on, it's unsaid. They don't.
Sim taking the higher ground here.
I didn't know it had to be said. Don't pick Arsenal players and don't pick players against Spurs.
We haven't picked any Arsenal players. I mean, if we were going to pick Arsenal players, we had many opportunities over this course of the year to pick Arsenal players, but none have been picked so far. But no, I think Cody Gakpo has got a big chance to score against Spurs this weekend. We've both gone for 4-2, so I think Liverpool, any of them can score, but I've gone for Cody Gakpo because I think he's probably my only one left I haven't picked from Liverpool. But that is your the Prem for today. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are of the games this weekend, what your predictions are, and who do you think is going to come out on top this weekend, me or Sim. Thank you everyone for watching. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,
come on you Spurs.